Alright, guys, today we're going to be talking about negotiating and basically getting things that you want, in life. Getting things for cheaper, getting things for a lower price. Basically, just getting the things you want in life and negotiating in general now. I've been negotiating for things in my life for a long time, getting better deals on things, getting things that I wouldn't necessarily be able to get if I wasn't good at negotiating, and just getting things for a lot cheaper than I may have if I wasn't good at negotiating. And so, I'm pretty good at it. I'm probably not the best in the world, but, I'm pretty good at it, so I can share some of my tips and tricks that I use for negotiating that I've learned through my days of doing it. I'm going to start off with an example of just like you're buying something. Let's say you're buying something off, Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji or something like that. You're just buying an item privately from someone. It's not from, a store or something, because, most stores you can't really negotiate. You just have to pay whatever the price is on the, whatever the marked down price is. But if you're doing a private sale on Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji where you're able to negotiate, this is where, this is going to be able to help you out. And basically what you're going to do is get in the mindset to where you're doing them a favor and they're not doing you a favor. And basically, what I mean is a lot of people, when they're buying an item off Facebook Marketplace, especially if they're able to get a good deal, let's say, they find a $1,000 iPhone on Facebook Marketplace for selling for $800. That's already a pretty decent deal. So a lot of people would just take that and they would just buy it how it is. And, when they're talking to the person, messaging with the person's like, you immediately agree to the money. They're like, hey, can you do the $800 that I'm offering? You're like, yep. You just immediately agree to the asking price, and you go and pick it up and buy it and everything's fine. But how you can get it to be more on your side is you can be a little bit more iffy, and basically you can be like, I could do $700 if you can show me that everything with the iPhone works good, and everything with the iPhone works good. Everything's good on the iPhone, and everything's, basically the product is high quality. Then I'll do $700. And in this person's mind, they'll be thinking, okay, well, this guy's offering almost what I'm asking, but, all he wants to do is see the phone, and, this is a good phone, so I have no problem with showing that. But basically, what this is going to psychologically do in the other person's mind is they're going to be thinking, well, this guy's offering me a decent offer, and all I got to do is show him this item. I have to give him something small in order to receive basically what I'm asking. And so they're going to want to do this because whenever someone instantly agrees to an offer to the other person that is giving out that offer, it seems like it's way too good of an offer that they should have been offering. And basically what I mean is, like, if you're selling something for a price and everyone just starts instantly buying it, you're going to start thinking in your head, maybe I'm selling this too cheaply because everyone's instantly buying it. As soon as I listed this phone, I got 100 messages saying yes instantly. I want to buy it. That through your head is going to be like, well, I should have priced this higher because I'm obviously pricing it too low if all these people want to buy it instantly. Whereas if the buyer is, saying, hey, I guess I could offer you $700 if you show me it's working good and everything. You're now having to prove that it's worth value, and you're having to prove yourself, and you're probably willing to come down more on price just to prove that it's a good deal. And so for the other guy that's buying it, that just means you're going to get a better deal because you're talking the person down by saying, I need you to prove to me that it's good and everything. And then I'll be willing to offer you money. And psychologically, it's going to make them want to prove to you that it's a good item and a good deal, and so they're willing to come down lower on price. And if you're doing this in person, also negotiating, feel free to go, I don't know about that. Instead of instantly agreeing to everything that they say, oh yeah, this is perfect, yep. That's just going to make the buyer think that you're just getting way too good of a deal, because why else would you be agreeing to everything instantly? It's the same thing with, a simp guy dating a really hot girl that's way out of his league, that the guy just agrees to everything the girl says and does whatever the girl says. It'll make the buyer think that he's giving you a way better deal than you deserve. So you have to make it seem in the situation like the guy that is selling you, you're kind of doing him a favor, but you're willing to pick it up if he proves to you that it's a good item. Just like, you're not just going to instantly marry and do everything for that hot, attractive girl. She has to prove herself to you that she's actually worth your time and your money. And, you're not just going to waste your time with any chick. You actually want a good girlfriend. You actually want a good deal. I hope this makes sense. Basically, you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting your money, but you're willing to spend your money if the item's good. Psychologically, this is going to work for getting the offer down. And, if you're in person, you can use body language. You can start hesitating. You can start humming and hawing. If you're in person negotiating with this person, and as soon as you start hesitating, humming and hawing, the seller inside their head, they're going to be like, oh crap, this guy's thinking about backing out of the deal. I got to prove to him in some way, that it's a good deal. And especially if you as the buyer have some, in the back of your head, you have a few things pointed out of, maybe what's wrong. Like, let's say you're buying a vehicle and there's a few things chipped up or, screwed up with the wheels or something. You could be like, well, you just have all these other things against the seller to use against the seller, and so the seller has to prove himself to you for you to want to buy it. So he's going to be thinking, the only way I can prove myself now is if I lower the price. And so they'll be a lot more willing to go down on the price for the item, whether that's a car, an iPhone, whatever it is. They'll be a lot more willing to go down on the price in their head. Even if they don't say it, in their head they will be. So as soon as you drop that lower offer, they'll be a lot more okay with it mentally inside their head, and that's where you need to get them. And another way you can just use this is saying if you do this, I could offer you this. So in their head, all they have to do is do that small task, and they'll think they're getting the reward for the small task, even though they're actually getting a worse price than they could be getting for the item. If you show me the phone's working good, I could offer you $700, even though they could probably easily get $800. It just psychologically screws them up. And, this won't always work. Negotiating doesn't always work, but, let's say you do 100 deals. It might work for 40 of the deals or 50 of the deals or whatever, but it'll definitely work pretty good. And it's just another negotiating skill that you can use. Just another negotiating skill that you can use, because negotiation comes down to a bunch of these little skills, a bunch of these little tips and tricks. It's not just one tip or trick. So, yeah, this is kind of the if method, the hesitation method, the getting the buyer to really think inside of his head, how he's gonna get you to value the item more, and basically to get you to be more interested in the item. And a lot of times they'll snap and go cheaper on the item. I've gotten lots of items for way cheaper than I should have, made tons of money flipping the items, or just getting nice items to use in my everyday life for way cheaper and saving that money and investing it. So you can definitely use it. I'm going to make more videos in the future about, negotiating and all types of... This channel is about, improving your life, Learning about negotiating is going to help you get things in life, going to help you get things, better things for yourself, gonna help you get items for cheaper, things for cheaper, better things in general. So negotiation is just another thing you want to have in your life, another skill you want to have in your life. But this channel is going to be about everything, relationships, money, health, everything. So if you want to improve yourself, just subscribe already. Come on, guys, you already know. Subscribe, hit that like to help your boy out, and let me know in the comments what you want to see in the future. Peace out, guys.